Hello and welcome to another episode of Star Citizen Forum Chatter on the Chase Aerospace Gaming channel. This is more of a general news kind of episode, but all the same there's still good stuff to talk about, so let's get right into it. So, first things first, PAX South is going to be January 23rd, which is a Friday, in San Antonio. So, this looks like a really interesting event, especially since it seems to have a persistent universe emphasis on the whole thing. Panel 1 at the event will be focusing on the topic, The Path You Choose. Overview. A major focus for 2015 for the PU team will be fleshing out the careers players will be able to have in the persistent universe. Okay, and then panel 2 is A Living, Breathing World. Overview. There are several features that will be developed in 2015 that will help make Star Citizen a living, breathing world. Things like detailed 24-hour NPC routines, space exploration, mechanics, and points of interest. Economic simulator and quantum travel are all major contributors to this. And then on panel 3, Getting Social. Overview. This panel dives into what players will get to experience for the first time once the social module goes live. Yeah, guys, I'm really excited for the social module. That should be releasing. I've heard rumors. I really don't feel confident giving you guys any kind of real time frame because it is all over the place. Just from what I've heard. So yeah, come read this article. If you can make it, I would go. I, unfortunately, don't have the money, and San Antonio is really far away from where I live. So, next up, from January 16th to January 23rd, so 3 days left, the Mustang and its variants, or the Mustang variants, are free to fly when you start up your Star Citizen and go play Arena Commander. So go check that out. They're fun to fly and they look awesome. That's that. Alright, moving on. There was a petition on the forums. I can't tell how serious the guy was about, because petitions kind of carry a negative connotation with them. But I guess he was upset that free flight mode was not a multiplayer experience. That you couldn't fly around with your friends in drone sim, you know, like free flight mode. He posted a thread about single player free flight experience being able to be expanded into the multiplayer experience, and it received a little bit of attention. I thought it was humorous. I don't think he intended it to be humorous. I think he actually upset a couple people from getting kind of angry about the whole thing. But he's got a little smiley face. He's got a smiley face, so I don't think he meant to be malicious. But I personally think it would be a good idea to have a free flight multiplayer mode, so you can just fly around with your friends. You don't necessarily have to fight each other, but that would be fun. I'm actually in support of the idea, though I don't think I would have posted a petition. Maybe a nice poll, do you think this is a good idea, would have worked just fine. Alright, moving on to the next topic. I found another ship naming forum, a ship naming thread on the forums, and I always love this kind of stuff. You get to go in, like the guy asked, what would you name your ship? And, you know, I'm naming my 315P Nashira, which is the name of a star. You know, my friend also named his ship, or is going to name his ship after a star, because we're both nerds like that. But, you know, and then you get to look through here and look at all these crazy names. Some of them are really cool, some of them are just obnoxious, but, you know, proud of the community. It's awesome. We got a bunch of creative people. And then there's some weird pictures in here that I'm not really, never mind, I'll let you guys discover that for yourself. Moving on! Okay, so in a 10 for the producers, which is the show that kind of took the place of 10 for the chairman while Chris was busy not doing 10 for the chairman. they got asked about the female perspective in Star Citizen, and kind of bumbled through the answer, trying to walk on the tightrope of political correctness without offending anybody, which is just not possible to do. No matter what you say, someone will be offended. They were obviously scared of saying the wrong thing, and it happens. I mean, not that I really even care, but equality in the video game industry between the genders has been a pretty serious topic over the last few years. It's drawn a lot of attention from national media, mainstream media, and I don't know, it's interesting to see how the devs handle it. Not necessarily did they handle it well, not necessarily did they handle it poorly, it is just interesting. So I'll put that little snippet up for you guys right here real quick.
Next question comes from Zappa. Is there or will there be female perspective with regards to design, functionality, and character aesthetics? I think a good reference to look at is the Cutlass commercial. Here we see a pilot taking on a Vandal scythe, and when she blows him up, she lands in the hangar, takes off her helmet, and you realize it's a woman piloting it the entire time, showing that she's pretty kick-ass. So I think that right there is a good indicator of how we want to keep things, I guess, I don't want to say gender equal, that sounds so politically correct.
Well, no, but I mean, almost just like reflective of the real world. I mean, 'cause
right.
That's immersive, right? And I mean, women are lawyers, they're doctors. I mean, I don't mean it sounds weird when I say it, but it's like, it would seem odd if you have a bunch of women running around scantily clad, or some games it kind of breaks the immersion when you're like, that doesn't make any sense, or that doesn't look right. So
I'd rather see a bunch of kick-butt warrior women.
I think realistic is what we're shooting for,
yes.
Right? We don't want our females to be portrayed as fantasy avatars.
Right.
They should be an extension of who you're playing, and they should look like they belong to the world.
And I figure how many hundreds of years in the future, I think differences between, or any perceived differences, imagined or real, will be negligible at that point.
Yeah. So we're trying to keep it real. In fact, we are right now finalizing our female-based model that we're going to build upon, and players will have the option to pick their wardrobe and swap costumes out and environment suits and all that. So a lot of the way that the female will be portrayed will be up to people playing the game.
Yeah, and realistic, because it's a scan, not just
right.
Not just an artist's interpretation of the female body, I guess.
Exactly. All right. What is next?
Keeping it real.
Keeping it real.
Moving on. Now, in the latest 10 for the Chairman, which was published January 19th, 2015 on YouTube, Chris gave us a new little snippet of information. At least I am 90% sure it's new. Chris Roberts was talking about a campaign journal. He didn't mention how he's going to handle the death of your character, and if you respawn as a new person, will you go back to the campaign and play as the first person you were? Never mind. The campaign journal is a book, or it's just a progress tracker, right? Where you record the events of the campaign, Squadron 42. And in an effort to address the issue of, the persistent universe happens after the campaign, so are you allowed to play the persistent universe before you finish the campaign? And that could create some issues. They decided, yes, that's the correct answer. Yes, you can play the persistent universe before you play the campaign, and switch between the two whenever you want. That is the correct answer. That's the only correct answer, as far as I'm concerned. But the way they've handled this lore-wise is that they have this campaign journal, or diary, I believe he calls it. And in the diary, you write about your experiences, and it tracks your progress in the campaign. But apparently it'll be, dated before, so before your persistent universe experience in the game timeline. So you can think of it as when you start the persistent universe, and then you go back to play the campaign, it's almost like a flashback. You play through a flashback. If that's how you choose to play. If you play the entire campaign first, and then you go to the persistent universe, then this really doesn't affect you at all. Other than you'll have the diary to go back and recall the events, and maybe even that will probably, if I was doing this, I would use the diary as the like the menu for like level selecting in the campaign, so you go back and play specific levels. So I like this idea. I like it. Good idea. All right, and on to, this is not related to Star Citizen, but if you're into this kind of thing, I go to NC State University for Aerospace Engineering, and I follow the commercial space industry very closely. And this loosely relates to Star Citizen because Star Citizen is a universe in which the commercial space industry has exploded, and everyone has their own little personal spacecraft, which is my ultimate goal as an aerospace engineer someday, to play a part in the creation of personal space vehicles for your day trips to Mars and back. Day trips to Alpha Centauri and back. If only. Alright, but the news, little snippet of news, is SpaceX sells 10% stake to Google and Fidelity for $1 billion. In other words, SpaceX was invested in by Google and Fidelity. Fidelity Investments is the name of that company. To the amount of $1 billion, which is a very sizable investment. This does my heart good to see a company as large as Google making such a sizable donation to the commercial space industry. Why would they do this, though? It's not just because they're nice and they think, oh, space is a noble goal, right? No. I mean, yes, space is a noble goal, and I'm sure they do think that, but that's not why they would do this. Whenever large companies make an investment, it's always because they think they can make money, make returns on the investment. And to the article that I've linked below, in the description, you can find the reason to be that they believe that SpaceX's technology will help them provide internet access to underserved regions by building drones, satellites, and lasers and stuff like that. Yes, Mitchell, I'm talking about SpaceX. The reason Google has made this move is because they're trying to, quote, gain an edge over rivals such as Facebook. So, there you go. I think it's cool that such a large company as Google is making such sizable donations.
Well, they bought 10%.
Okay, so there you go. I thought that was a pretty interesting snippet of information. And that is all. Alright, thank you for watching this week's episode of Star Citizen Forum Chatter on the Chase Aerospace Gaming channel. If you liked the video, found it informative, please hit the like button. I'm going to do this correct this time. The like button is... oh my gosh, this is hard. Here. No. Here, I think. Somewhere down there. I give up. Okay, and if you did not like the video, keep it to yourself. I'm just kidding. You can hit thumbs down if you want. And subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. The support means a lot, guys. So, until next time, I have been Chase Aerospace. See you in the verse. Bye.